Cloud 2 Wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by.
Yes. Nailed it. Indeed, we do. And this should be a great matchup between two incredibly strong teams. Both of them have taken wins throughout this season, but Stay Fair looking a little bit stronger. Currently undefeated throughout their season here. And listen, if any team's going to get it done, it's going to be Coastal Bend College. They've looked incredibly strong with multiple good wins throughout this season. But like we were saying, this is going to be a test for them for sure. That works for me. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, I would say it's a whole lot easier here, and I'll do them a little bit of a solid here just to make it so that their job's just a tad easier. Tugboat, you might want to go check your audio through vMix real quick, my friend. But yeah, we got two incredibly strong teams here today. Like we said, it's going to be Coastal Bend College versus the State Fair Community College, and while we sort out a couple of little things on the audio side here, let's just start going through some of the teams.
It should be good now.
Coastal Bend College is going to be their a full freshman squad, which is always awesome to see. You love to see new talent here. And Brazilian Bacon, WaffleCon 369, and Caruso. That's going to be Alex, Jake, and Aaron. They're going to be the team for the Cougars here today. And Tugboat, can we hear your incredible voice on camera yet, my friend?
I really hope so. Everything should be figured out there. Classic caster mistake. I'm out here thanking John for making our jobs easier and then actively making his job harder. So what does that tell you about old FBI type? But yes, huge shout out to these two teams, State Fair Community College and Coastal Bend College. Like you said, we're looking at Dylan Mead as the only non-freshman here. Of course, the National Junior College Athletic Association, the esports side here. That's only the 2-year colleges. And from what I said earlier, I'm not sure if you guys heard it, but obviously the NJCAA, founded a couple years ago, is the only national esports association exclusively for those 2-year colleges, where they got something like 60 schools from all over the regions of the United States of America just within these past 2 years. So a fast-growing one indeed. Taking a look, what you already mentioned it, 2 and 3 for Coastal Bend College, out of Texas. State Fair Community College coming in 4-0, number 1 in their groups, have not dropped one yet, and that is Warrensburg, Missouri. Is that correct?
As far as I am aware, that is, we'd have to hear our production tell us otherwise. But for right now, we're going to stick with that and stick with these two incredible teams coming into this one, with both having a very good chance at winning this. Again, at 2 and 3, they really have had a pretty successful season so far. If they can go 500 here on 3 and 3, it would be massive for them. But it's all going to be said many times over. That's a lot easier said than done. Against an undefeated team who are coming into this with a lot of confidence, you really need to take, well, all the confidence you've gained and really try and run it against them.
Yeah, especially given what's kind of on the what's on the docket here. Coastal Bend, they take this, they improve that even 500 at 3 and 3. State Fair take this, they'll improve that undefeated record, staying 5-0. So if you're talking about kind of what's on the line right here, given that State Fair Community College playing this incredibly competitive matchup here, we're going to be looking honestly at because of how competitive this is, Bass, it's almost a guarantee to drop a map at some point. But then again, we will see how State Fair Community College plays here today. The Young Bucks out of Missouri have been playing very well so far this season.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But I'd have to agree with you. I'd be surprised if we walk away with a sweep here on either side. Reverse sweep, maybe we see that. That'd be a pretty interesting scenario here. But most likely, we're going to have a pretty good back and forth. And that's really what we're looking for here. Because it's the match of the week, we're really just looking for a really good back and forth between the two teams that gives us some good Rocket League. Because that's always what we want, right, Tug? Just some good Rocket League.
Yeah. Just some good Rocket League. That's all I want. Nice solid sleep, a bunch of water, solid meal, and some good Rocket League. That's all a young tugboat needs to thrive and survive, right? There you go. We'll be starting to have that on board here today. Now, Baz, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just standard rules as far as Rocket League games, best of 5 or first to 3, however you want to say it. There's no ties capable in the great game of Rocket League. 5-minute quarters, then if the score is tied, we'll move on to the classic overtime situation after that.
Yeah, as far as I am aware, that is what we're going to be playing with here today. I've actually played, casted, I should say, in a league that had a best of 6 once with the possibility to tie, and I thought that was a very interesting sort of format change here. But listen, classics are a classic for a reason, and I think we're going right back to the classics here today. A best of 5, first to 3, like you said. However you phrase it, it's the main way to play Rocket League, and it really is one of the best ways to determine which team is the better one on the day. If you even drop those first 2 games, the amount of reverse sweeps I've seen in a best of 5, I can't even count it at a certain point.
Yeah, that's why we do what we do, is for the reverse sweeps and whatnot. Obviously, sweeps are, can be less exciting, and except of course when they happen from underdogs, right? We just saw some of that recently in some of the higher tiers of Rocket League and whatnot. But just talking about this within here, there have been sweeps, there have been reverse sweeps so far in the NJCAA season so far. Will we see that here today? I want some of the second, none of the first, right? I want some of the game 5 situations. I want overtimes and everything else. I want earned W's right here, Bass. 3-0 sweeps. Don't want to see it.
I've had the pleasure of casting a decent amount of Game 7 and Game 5s over the last week of, I think, I want to call it probably 10 to 15 series that I have casted. About 10 of them have gone to either OT or to a Game 5. So I've got a little bit of either a curse or luck, depending on how you want to look at it right now, depending on which team you are here. But I'm hoping that rubs off here on the NJCAA. One day I will get that to roll off the tongue, but unfortunately, I might be good with words when it comes to the ones I'm speaking to you guys. Talking about the teams that talking about the sponsors that work for us and the teams we work for, unfortunately, can sometimes get jumbled. But that does not take away from the incredible things that they are doing here. Like we said before, as a person who actually did go to a junior college, to see a league like this with this much support, just so awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I am my graduation year was a couple years ago now, but there wasn't really the same amount of support there in collegiate esports then. Now, having an association exclusively for squads only coming in from these junior colleges, the 2-year colleges, is music to my ears. Coastal Bend College on the left in the blue, State Fair Community College right in the red.
Here we go. This is, oh my word, I was going to say, going to be an interesting back and forth, one which we expect to be a little bit tentative to start off, but no such hesitation at all. Peachy, already the first goal.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty early here as well. Seconds or so in. Waffle cone, Coruscant, that's what we said we were going to say, and Brazilian bacon, making up your Coastal Bend College squad.
I sent a message over to Coruscant, see if maybe they had some sort of other pronunciation, but honestly, this is probably my favorite response from a player whenever, you don't exactly know how to pronounce them. Just sort of gives me a quick, hey, pronounce it however you want. Right now, I'm going to have to pronounce him as the star-studded striker, as he has just scored, and Coastal Bend right back into it.
Yeah, exactly. 30 seconds in, this is basically back to true zero, the true neutral situation, Bass. They're completely tied up right now. Now you just have a little bit more less time to go at this one. Members of Coastal Bend doing a great job of answering on that one, Bass.
They are, and now the question is who's going to answer. Oh, next!
Wow, okay. My, oh my. Yeah, these teams barely giving us any time to really talk here, Bass.
I can barely talk at all. I literally wasn't expecting that so much. I think I just choked on air trying to get my words out of my mouth. And now all of a sudden we're at a 2-1 scoreline here. And we're 30 seconds into this one tugboat.
Yeah, did not see you nor I saying that one about a match here already. 35, 45 seconds into this one, already scored thrice. Crazy stuff. Pop-up play from Coruscant. Warhawk's going to be on the other side with a weaker block. An easy shot. Decently open as well, so that's going to be Waffle Cone coming in for a demo after teammate misses a relatively open net.
Oh, that would have been huge for the side of Coastal Bend. But the good thing is they've still got some offensive pressure here. They're going to keep pushing and see if... Oh, they can find another opportunity! Brazilian Bacon with a huge opportunity to try and put a shot into the back of the net, but just not quite able to make a touch on the ball. But I like this. Coastal Bend definitely starting to get in the face of State Fair. And like you said, for a team that's undefeated, you can start off strong against them. There's absolutely a chance that you can take the win.
Yeah, so State Fair technically in the lead right now, but a lead of 1, no real lead in Rocket League. Bacon over to the left side, Waffle Cone trying to come in at this one. Misses it across the right side. Cross picks it up for right now. Dylan CM on the run on the middle. Coruscant comes up, does not hit that one. Brazilian Bacon, the last player back. Hit that one, but a cut across the middle, and the Warhawk strikes again. Or strikes for the first time, excuse me.
There we go, though. State Fair continuing to do the same thing State Fairs have been doing throughout this entire game. Just continuing to put on those quick counterattacks. And while Coastal Bend, in my opinion, probably has had the majority of the pressure throughout this game, it kind of feels like State Fair don't really need the pressure. They're very quick to the ball, and if you give them an opportunity... I was going to say they'll strike, but an inopportune moment there. Caster Curse was going to show itself. Unfortunately, it shows itself in game number 1, though.
Yeah, so that was a pretty open situation for State Fair. An easy take across the top, and then a kind of miscoordination on the other side. It's right there. There's nobody to block it. Then coming in, that's going to be kind of a flick play over the top. Or not quick necessarily, but just kind of a wonkiness, something that is unexpected.
A little bit unexpected there. No one really ever expects a 50-50 to pinch out like that, but unfortunately for Coastal Bend, they might need to start getting prepared for this. So far throughout this game, halfway through, we've seen a plethora of shots, 4 to 3 on each side. No saves, though. It does kind of feel like the defense isn't really being prioritized here, and, well, that's somewhat expected considering it's game number 1, but I think the first team to really start locking down that back half tugboat is going to be the one to start controlling the series.
I can definitely agree with that, Bass. As they're seeing Coruscant try and bring this out, that's really just something that Coastal has had problems with up to this point. Dylan stopping this one, cornering it out. Teammates for State Fair going to be able to rotate in on this one. Brazilian popping this one way up. Coruscant dedicating a lot right here. It comes up. It just gets a little bit too low on this one because it's not able to get quite so high. Brazilian Bacon on the back. Now on the save and trying to bring this one out.
Not quite out of the path yet here. Coastal Bend is doing a whole lot more pressure, and you knew this was going to come eventually. State Fair with their 5th goal, and I think I'm starting to recognize it. State Fair took a second to warm up, but now that they are here, they have got a fire underneath them.
Yeah, kind of putting the spoiler on top of that one. This is Warhawk. Just saw him circling there for a second, biding the time. Comes in and strikes. 5-1 now with about 2 minutes left on the clock. Peachy hit down bottom. Meeting up there is Brazilian. Dylan actually gets way ahead of this one. Now coming out and taking it from the side. Coruscant with a little pass play from the teammate, which Waffle Cone's forced to pick this one up after a hit on over to the right side. Meeting in the middle is Peachy. Members of State Fair trying to set this one up. Oh my god, what a hit.
Oh my word! I don't know what's more impressive, the placement on the shot there, or the save being made. Hey, we said we needed to see some teams start controlling defense. Apparently State Fair want to be that team.
Yeah, really showing up right there in that category. 100%. Coruscant across the middle. Peachy hitting this one against the wall. And again, little double tap there to try and continue on this pressure. Wafflecon stopping this one. Dylan coming up for it. And just kind of seems like Coastal's more content to take this one off across the bottom.
Feels like there's a little bit of a difference in play style here right now. Coastal Bend are still throwing everything at their offense and trying to keep up that overwhelming pressure, but meanwhile, it feels like State Fair have decided that, no, we don't need to keep this upward pace of play. We can play rather patiently, and as long as we find those opportunities, then we should be able to take advantage of them. And speaking of which, this could be another shot. Dylan not quite able to make the touch, but Warhawks there for follow-up. Is anyone there for the save? No, indeed not. And State Fair increase their lead by another.
Yes, 5 up right now. Warhawk just kind of showing off what they can do in the air. Waffle Cone kind of put in a bad situation, kind of ending up perpendicular to the ball as it is bouncing in. So that's going to be a tough shot for just about anybody. 45 seconds left in this one. We're going to say the game 1 is done. 5 scores in less than 40 seconds is not going to happen.
It's just not going to happen. Sometimes you got to be somewhat realistic here in what you are watching. As much as we want to hype this one up and say that both teams have got a shot, the shot here for Coastal Bend is going to be in the next game. They're going to have to lift their wounds and get right back on into this one. And again, I still do feel like they are in this series, and very much in this series. You know, if they can start to prioritize their defense a little bit and less of this clumping in the corner that we just saw, I think they should be all right. Their offense is proven they very much have the power to stand up to a team like State Fair.
Yeah, especially the way they kind of came out at this match. We saw that intensity and tenacity. It's 2 things right there. Shot across the middle, almost a goal to go for the side of Coastal. They're not going to be able to put that one in the doggy bag. 6-1 will be your scoreline for game numero uno. And really, that was just Warhawk almost all day, right? Taking a look at these numbers here. Warhawk 3 shots on, made all 3. Peachy, 2 shots on, made all 2. Dylan, 1 shot up, 1 shot in. 100% completion ratio for State Fair all the way across the board.
That is just unreal. I mean, listen, we kind of expected this going into this one. State Fair are, like we said, they're by far the team in favor here, but it's one of these things where it still doesn't necessarily feel like it's completely out of hand here. Like we mentioned many times, minor adjustments, and it does kind of feel like this is going to be much more of an even series here. And while it hasn't necessarily become that even series yet, it is going to very soon. I think that we're going to definitely get a back and forth. Like we mentioned, if we see a sweep here, it'd be rather surprising. It is possible. I don't want to say that it is impossible, especially with the way that State Fair look right now. But if Coastal Bend can make some minor adjustments, they're absolutely still in this.
Yeah, it's really just those minor adjustments at the end of the day. Given that the minor adjustment, really the main thing that needs to change is just the defensive performances from Coastal right here. State Fair came through. They have the 3 saves on there. There's plenty of shot attempts up, but at the end of the day, it's just not going to be enough to kind of prevent that onslaught.
This is going to be difficult here. And listen, at the end of the day, it is still a very solid team here. As much as Coastal Bend do have a shot, they really need to start taking it to State Fair here and making sure that they don't give them the same sort of pressure as before. That's something we saw a lot as well. A lot of booming clears that kind of went to empty space. And when you have a match with a lot of empty space there, it means whichever team is just a little bit more mechanical is usually going to be the one to take advantage of that empty space.
Yeah, and I mean, empty space is really not anything you can get on over to the likes of State Fair. There, again, what is on the line right now is this squad going forth and completing another segment of their undefeated streak right now. So that's up and down as to which team this match matters to more.
This is going to be an interesting one. Like you said, it's one of these things where, getting 500, massive for Coastal Bend here. For State Fair, it's also a really important one because they want to try and keep this momentum. Just keep on this undefeated and keep just kind of trucking through with it. But let's find out. Game number 2 underway here. Like we said, an important game for Coastal Bend, but an important one for State Fair as well if they want to hold on to their momentum. And it does look like State Fair already holding on to their momentum. Shots out the gate. A little bit off target, but oh boy, State Fair, business as usual for them in game 2.
Business as usual, yes. 15 seconds in. It's not for lack of trying. There's no scores on the boards quite so far. Are you? Okay, sorry. I was just making sure you're in here, Bess. All right, we're good to go. We're good to go. I admire your vamping capabilities there. Whoa, was that an own goal?
Oh, no, yes, it was. And I don't know if this was an unintentional own goal or one of these things where it's just kind of like it's going in, but Peachy, I don't think, realized that was off target. They didn't have to touch that. Had they just waited for it to bounce off the backboard and then maybe pinched it against the back wall, would have been a much easier save, but the panic set in. Coastal got their first good offense, and all of a sudden, State Fair are scrambling back to try and defend it. Speaking of scrambling back, that's another one. Own goal for an own goal. Eye for an eye, and we're all tied up.
Yeah, okay, so unique look at this one so far. A hit across the top. Brazilian Bacon tries to come in and defend this one away, but especially given that his teammate is to his right, ball just kind of bounces in. Both of these scores so far come off the back of own goals. Interesting stuff. Coastal comes in and what, for like 5 seconds, enjoys a lead for the first time in this matchup as well. So it was short-lived, but I'm sure tasted sweet.
Hey, and listen, listen, for the teams, to not make you feel too bad about this one, this whole weekend for RLCS, I'm pretty sure in APAC I saw a total of, I want to call it 5 or 6 own goals in 4 matches.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us. It happens all around. And, well, right now it's happening to both teams here. But good thing is we're all knotted up here. 1-1 with only about a minute gone, so plenty of competitive Rocket League remaining. But you can understand why the streak was just broken there. State Fair find their second goal, and this is all the offensive just being a nuisance there. Look at the just destruction in the net. Dylan completely confusing the defense, and all of a sudden, State Fair have the lead.
I think in a large way, Curacao was not able to kind of get a good read on this one coming in, like was rotating and trying to get a better position as they were coming in. There's a shot across the bottom. Peachy, the last player back, does defend this one away, throw an epic on top of that. Now, Dylan, decent little hit, but that's Warhawk that had a solid lineup for this one. Ball was basically teed up for them. Now Waffle Cone off to the left side. A little bit of wall action right there as Peachy pushes players to get on top of this ball for the time being. Shot there. Now Peachy and the rest of State Fair forced to come on the back as Curacao puts this one up. Brazilian Bacon coming in a little bit fast. I think that might have been assisted. Now a hit up. Brazilian Bacon blocks that one away perfectly for popping it up. Now a shot from over the top. Defended away from Waffle Cone. Nicely done.
My oh my, this is getting really intense here. And by the way, this is really starting to show why we're saying that Coastal Bend are not out of this at all. They're starving off or shaving off many of the shots that we're seeing out of State Fair right now, to the point where State Fair are actually having a little bit of difficulty in breaking this defense here. Maybe they can do it with this shot. No, not quite. Warhawk tried to redirect it last second before Saw was there and in the way. Unfortunately, not there for the follow-up, and finally they will break the seal. State Fair find their third.
Yeah, so Coastal Bend College, excuse me, coming in, and this is just kind of out the back of, again, kind of like bad reads and stuff. It looks like 2 players were off on either corner trying to pick up big boosts and stuff and not, like, kind of paying more attention to this goal. And this is go time right here, especially against a team like State Fair Community College. They've shown what they can do when only given, like, a little bit of space.
A little bit of space here. Like we said, it's definitely not as easy of a game in game number 2 here for State Fair, but it does kind of feel like they have the advantage. And the main reason I would say they have the advantage here is because at their best, Coastal Bend can definitely take down State Fair. But unfortunately, a little bit of inconsistency for the team, whether it be own goals, mistouches on the back end, or just general sort of confusion for the defense here, have left Coastal Bend in some awkward positions. And speaking of which, Peachy gonna dunk the last defender, and a 4th goal will be found for State Fair.
Yeah, Warhawk taking this off the top right here, and Peachy just teed up perfectly for them. Defenders coming in, but once again, that just kind of caught unawares is this Coastal Bend College squad. Waffle Cone 369, Brazilian Bacon, Curacao. They have I mean, at this point last time, Bass, we were looking at like a 5-score difference. At 3, this is much more manageable, especially given what we've seen so far, but not when you miss ones like those.
The unfortunate thing is that it does also kind of seem like State Fair, though, once they find momentum, they run with it. So for SFCC right now, they found that momentum that they were looking for, and Coastal Bend hasn't really been able to. Shots alone in this game. Yes, they're playing more defense, but it's equivalent to their saves. 2 saves, 2 shots, in comparison to State Fair, who have 5 goals. Even if Coastal Bend had hit every shot they've taken this game, they still wouldn't even be at half the goals that State Fair have right now.
Yeah, once again, just kind of like the offensive performance and offensive time really going the way of the State Fair College squad. So Warhawk not really playing the same game as we saw earlier. There's 4 shots for both Dylan and Peachy, 3 shots made in for both of them, but Warhawk has only assisted. He has been on the assist for 5 now. That is very, very impressive. But no shots attempted, no shots made in game number 2.
Another really interesting stat here for State Fair, though, is that they really are working as a team here. They kind of understand the roles at which they're playing. Peachy and Dylan are the front of their offense. They're at a hat trick apiece, 3 goals per person and 4 shots per person. And then Warhawk doesn't even have a shot this game. They haven't even attempted to try and put a goal into the back of the net here. They just happen to,
need
like
to.
you said, oh my word, Dylan will put in another shot here, but at this point, it's one of these things where every single goal has been assisted, though. The only other assist we see is from Dylan, who also, like we said, has a hat trick. So, State Fair just intertwining beautifully here. The rotation from the trio really has left them in the lead. And again, as much as Coastal Bend are still in this series, they need to find a way to start to slow down the State Fair.
Corso, the good little double tap actually makes Dylan now miss. Waffle comes up with an attempted flip and hit. Not going to happen. Minute left in this one. Redirect from Warhawk, looking to get on the board for the first time. Yeah, he doesn't really get a great angle on this one. Now putting it on over to the left. This is just a slow burn at this point.
Oh, but Warhawk Get yourself a goal, my friend. Can you know it might have been an assist had Peachy sniped that one to the back of the net, but no such luck. State Fair, unfortunately, going to have to settle with a 6-1 for now, and maybe 6-2. The no follow-up is off target. Brazilian Bacon with a huge opportunity, but the good thing is I don't think that would have changed the outcome either way. With half a minute left, it would have just been a good goal for the confidence, but unfortunately not quite able to find it.
And the idea would have been something, I mean, just improvement, right? It's 6-1 right now. It was 6-1 at the end of last game. At least, going from 1 goal to 2 would be something that Coastal Bend College could take home with them, or excuse me, not take home with them, take them into Game 3, because even at the end of the day, if State Fair takes this, this will not be over quite yet in this best of 5. Still going out and fighting with all the heart. Love to see this. That's a shot down bottom, almost a follow-up from Waffle Cone again.
Now, I hate to root for the team in the lead, but I wanted to see one more goal. There it is, the Brazil. State Fair's going to take themselves that Brazil 7-1 with 2 seconds left. And I don't know. I'm kind of happier we got to this versus a 6-1. Somehow, some way, Brazil feels less painful.
There you go. At least it's a meme, right? With the numbers there. At least, and again, at least one team is improving in some way, shape, or form. Not that State Fair really needs it, but at least there is some improvement, and we're just not watching the same exact scoreline across, but almost the same exact game, like you said. Coming in and looking at this, State Fair Community College is looking really, really solid. They can do everything, even without Warhawk. Warhawk really was the head of their offense in this game number 1, and a sharp look it was, really, with Warhawk kind of at the head of that one. There was a lot of shots attempted, but everybody in game number 1 did make their shots. Now, coming into this one, Warhawk assists 6 of these 7 goals, so just kind of a transition of roles right there. Kind of shows what all 3 players of the State Fair Community College team can do.
That's a big thing here is like you say, each player on SFCC right now are just kind of controlling this pitch. They don't need to all be shooting. They don't need to all be defending. As long as they recognize the roles that they are in as a first, second, and third man, they're going to most likely be able to control this pace of play, and that's what they're doing right now. Coastal Bend are trying to keep up with this really fast pace of play that is rather adapted to SFCC, and they can't really do so here. So Coastal Bend, it's time to start breaking down this pace of play. Force State Fair into your territory and get them in these awkward positions, because so far here, I would say that State Fair have looked pretty much comfortable throughout this entire match.
That's a fair statement. Just looking at a 6-1, 7-1 scoreline here, that's just the on paper fact of what we're looking at right now in this matchup. Now, not over with quite yet. There's multiple different tricks, and the first one that really comes to mind for Coastal is just start with the demolitions. Right at the absolute least, you'll force State Fair members to burn a lot, getting away from you, and maybe an open up goal and whatnot. And that's just like kind of basic stuff. Anything else, Bass? Anything else here for the Coastal Bend College squad that might be able to take it back here in Game 3?
I would agree with you on that one. Another way that you can really start, to annoy that other team. I call that a nuisance playstyle. Get in their face, bump and handle them like crazy. But that other part that I said, get in their face. Don't give them the room here. Like we said, State Fair are a very mechanically gifted team. If you start to give them space, they're going to set up shots like that. This time it is cut down. Coruscant will get in the way, but it's going to be enough. Coastal Bend, I would say they need this first goal in this game, Tugboat.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken first goal in previous game, and they were able to retain that lead for a little while, but an own goal kind of made that a non-situation. Coruscant also with the card change right there. Love to see it. He's sort of versatile, right? Variety is a spice of life, Bass.
Indeed, it is, and I gotta give credit to Coruscant where it's due, because he also knows that he's picking the right card for the situation here. Recently, I believe it was in Regional 1 for RLCS, in which the Batmobile came back into popularity due to my boys on Williams Resolve picking it during a almost reverse sweep scenario against the number 2 team in Europe. So I was happy to see that the Batmobile is back in trend, and it was very happy to watch it firsthand. To see Coruscant pulling it out here also warmed my heart, and no one else is going to warm my heart. 1 minute gone, not a single team has scored yet, Tugboat.
Yeah, at this point, we were looking at 3 or even 4 scores like in that first game, so this is hands down better for Coastal Bend College. They're made it now a minute and 15 or so. Warhawk and the rest of members of State Fair actually looking a little bit lost on the offense right now. That's a couple different plays they just haven't been able to communicate on. That issue is over as Dylan gets a solid slice to the left side. Oh my.
Warhawk. Oh my word. That's why he didn't have any shots last game. He was saving them for the dagger here in game number 3.
Wow. Yeah, look at this. Just slicing right across the middle right there. Little dueling dragons at the end. 90 seconds into this one, so nice and even as well. Kurosal and the rest of the members of Coastal Bend will certainly have to have that superhero play the rest of this game to try and bring this one back.
Still got a chance. By far, there's enough time on the clock here that they can't get this one done. But again, we need to start seeing that offensive pressure. We mentioned that last game is that they kind of lost that offensive pressure we saw in the first game there, and it was due to the fact that they started to prioritize their defense a little bit more. Let's see them get in the face of their opponents. Let's see them get a little bit aggressive. It is backs against the wall. At this point, you gotta lay all the cards you have on the table, including the ace up your sleeve. There's nothing to hold here. You have to show everything you've got in what could be the final game of this series.
Could very well be, and at the end of the day, losing by 1 is the same as losing by 10. That's not the situation they're quite in yet. Once they score one more time, they can take a more even look at this one, Bass. But especially if they continue to go down, eventually it just pour it all into offense and see what happens.
Exactly. They're going to have to just throw everything they've got. And, well, they're halfway through this game and haven't quite been able to display everything they've got here, but maybe they can break out of their half and do so now. Coruscant trying to just get a good touch on the side here, and actually will do so. Have a chance at dribble, flick center. Dylan able to get in the way. Coruscant trying to set up his teammates, but notice how both of them are kind of clumped up at midfield there. Not the greatest look for Coastal Bend. They're going to have to be rather careful here. I think Coruscant's the only player so far that's starting to get this never say die attitude. Going aggressive and even trying to get a double touch from a bump from his teammate. There we go. Waffle Cone getting in the face of his opponents as well. Will there be a follow-up? Was Coruscant to attempt one? And I like that Brazilian's up for this early, and I think the pace of play is starting to go up here. Coastal Bend are recognizing it is now or never if they want a shot.
Yeah, and I mean, still just keeping it to 1 goal is pretty darn good. They've had some seriously impressive offensive performances thus far. Now it's just making one of those connect. A dangerous look across the middle. Coruscant stops that one in its tracks. The heart attack is stayed for now. Shot over the right side. Waffle going up. Brazilian trying to get to it. Not going to happen. Dylan racks in the second for the side of State Fair.
I want to see what happened to Brazilian here on this play. Did they get wrapped up on this post? Because that's kind of what it looked like. Is that, yeah, they unfortunately came off the post rather than just driving there. And listen, I've seen it happen at every level. It happens to me constantly in ranked games. The unfortunate thing is that it's not really the most opportune time. With just about 100 seconds left, Coastal Bend now need to find 2 goals in a row. And after being shut out for 3.5 minutes here, that's a very difficult task, especially when Warhawk can't put in another goal, and then this one's gonna go on in. Coruscant cross Gordon. State Fair punished for their inaccuracy.
Yeah, Coruscant coming in, snapping axles, ankles, whatever you want to call it. PG isn't able to get to that one. Love to see this. 82 seconds left, and Coastal Bend hurt to themselves a little bit of breathing room right here. New lease on life. Whatever you want to call it, Bass, Coastal Bend is still in this one.
Oh my, with 80 seconds left, they not only are in this one, but they've really got a chance to make their mark. This one high. Coruscant wants a double touch. We'll put it off target, though, just a little bit off there. But I like that. Coastal Bend immediately back in the face of State Fair here, and then they continue with this pressure out at midfield. Decent touch from Brazilian, but it's going to kind of go into no man's land. And wait, that no man's land is going to get double occupied. 2 State Fair players there. And Brazilian almost able to get the doozy with 0 boost. What about the follow-up? Waffle Cone is there, but so is Warhawk. Clears this one out. With 50 seconds left, this is perfect for State Fair. They don't need another goal. They just need to waste time.
Yeah, this isn't exactly the keep away situation yet, where they're just like really trying to like wing it left or right and waste time, but that's basically what it'll be in about 10-15 seconds or so. Little bounce play. Dylan, the last player back, does come out on top, so still stays 2-1 for right now. 30 seconds left. Classic look. Classic 30-second drill here from the side of Coastal Bend. Coruscant trying to maintain, picks up a big boost. They just really need to get this out right now. Attempted pass. Coruscant has to reach for it and does. Now out to the middle. They need to get this out of their third right now.
Get out very quickly. They just need one more. Oh, no chance, but they will not find it. Instead, they will find the dagger here. That is the fat lady saying that is the curtains. That is whatever you want to call it on this game. With 12 seconds left, technically it's possible for Coastal Bend, but they basically need 2 perfect kickoffs in a row.
Yeah, we'll see how this comes. It all comes down right here. Nope, they need to get out to this one, shank it out. If they score with 1 second left, then it's still technically possible. Nope, that is going to be it. A couple whips off the a couple whips off the initial. What am I talking about? That there was not a prayer answered right here. There was not a miracle on the pitch tonight. So State Fair College went forth and took that one. Obviously, incredibly hard to get. Not just 1 but 2 kind of different kickoff play minutes there. But at the end of the day, State Fair are going to roll on through. In the first two games, it looked a little bit different from the third here, Bass.
Yeah, it definitely did. The third game is really where we started to see State Fair come to life, and same with Coastal Bend there. It felt like a really good back and forth. State Fair were performing at their best, really getting that offensive efficiency we know and love, while also putting on some spectacular shot. And Coastal Bend really able to withstand that pressure and get some good counterattacks of their own. But again, the unfortunate truth here is that Coastal Bend was just a little bit muted on offense at 4 shots total when State Fair have 3 goals. You kind of just need to get a little bit more pressure like State Fair did at 8 total shots. So this is a good learning experience, I would say, for Coastal Bend here. They do not find themselves at a 500 record. Instead, fall to 3-5 now. 2-4 now. But there's still a lot of learning that can be done here and a lot of improvements that can be made just based on looking at the footage here. Coastal Bend are a capable team. If they can clean up in a couple little areas, they're absolutely going to be a capable squad that can take down State Fair in a rematch.
100%. 100%. We are going to go to a very short break, and then when we come back, we get a little interview action coming at you guys. We only have winners in the interview box, and that'll be a member of the State Fair Community College coming on in to give us a minute on a piece of their mind. Don't tune away, because Bass and I would honestly just take it really personally.
Watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch ahead.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch ahead.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
And we are back. The National Junior College Athletic Association esports side, that's the NJCAAE. You see that, Bass? Continues now, presented by the Army National Guard. We got a little interview action coming at you. We got Peachy to come on and give us a minute of their time after the game. Peachy, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Bass, take it away, please.
All right, absolutely will do. Peachy, first off, congratulations on the win, my friend. You guys played, well, somewhat to the expected level there. And I have a couple questions about how you guys are able to perform at that level, because we kind of noticed throughout the series, you guys really did have specific roles. In games where you guys were scoring a decent amount of goals, it was usually just 2 goal scorers. You basically kind of evenly distributed it while you had a man, sort of a third man, hang back and play up a little bit, but just kind of dish out passes. Is that something you guys actively look for to sort of make sure that you have a rotation where each player has a role, or is it just sort of that's how good the chemistry is? It just happens to fall in like that.
Yeah, first off, we've built a lot of chemistry this semester. We've practiced a good amount, and we've looked for passes. We've really hit hard on passes, passing plays, not hitting each other, going for aerials and double committing. Yeah, that's a big one. And our whole thing is based on nervous. And our whole play style is based on us hitting each other, not being selfish. We're a really unselfish team. We like the passes. I think Warhawk had 6 assists in game 2. Crazy. That's a crazy amount. And and it wasn't really 2 of us throughout the whole series that was scoring. It would be 2 separate people each different game, and it would be one of us. Everyone had a scoring spree, so we played pretty well.
That's what made you guys the most threatening. It really was the fact that you guys kind of had that, just every single one of you guys was a very capable player there. And I gotta ask, is that sort of like the goal for the season, is to just see improvement out of the 3 of you guys? What are you looking for here? Because at this point, you're pretty much the top of the crop. You are quite literally undefeated throughout the season. You just took a 3-0. Is the goal to just see improvement here, or you guys want something greater? Do you want an undefeated season at this point?
Well, we're looking at that undefeated season, of course, but mainly we're here to get improvement. We're looking at opportunities in our future, whether it be going to a 4-year college or maybe even doing content out of it, whatever it is, maybe pro, maybe. And we're just looking to improve on all levels, all sides of our game, and it would be great if we can make something out of it.
Well,
love to see it.
That's everything for me, Tugboat. Any questions for Peachy here, my friend?
Yeah, so Peachy, you mentioned a little bit about this. I want to get into the man. We've seen the player. I want to get into the man a little bit here, right? But what is Peachy's expectations like? Obviously, there's the NJCAA, the National Junior College Athletic Association. That's the 2 years. It's the first 2 years here. They do not work with colleges that provide those last 2 years of college if you choose to go do that. What is it for Peachy? What is the plan here? What is the Peachy plan?
Well, I've looked into content, but I'm probably just going to use it to hopefully get into a 4-year and get maybe a deal. But
there you go.
Because of course you can do that.
It would not be the first time that's happened. Nobody would shame me for you, whatsoever. So, Bass here kind of touched on this a little bit, but we saw the recent past here today. I want to talk about these 3 games though, kind of like. Just games 1 and 2 just had a much different vibe. It kind of felt. Part of this came from the fact that that was Warhawk with no shots actually attempted in game 2, only the assists, and then you kind of had a similar performance in game 3. I just want to ask you what kind of happened, what changed between games 1 and 2 and game 3.
Well, that I couldn't tell you, but okay. we're always switching roles on this team. We have a good chemistry. We all love each other. It's a lot of fun. Especially with Coach. Coach is a great help. He hypes us up, especially for our games, if we're feeling a little nervous like for today. And really in game 2, I loved seeing Warhawk because in our past series, he's always been the shooter. He plays dominance. He gets those hard hits, crossbar down. And usually it's me or Dylan setting him up for that. And in that game, he just passed perfectly. 6 assists out of our 7 goals.
Does not get much better than that, does it?
does not. No, that's pretty much the top of the top there. Like we were saying, you guys really do look like you are in perfect form here. Peachy, I wish you luck, my friend. Honestly, I've got nothing left for you here, but we do also want to leave a little bit of platform for you. Peachy, anybody you want to shout out that might be watching right now?
Hi, Mom.
Love it.
How about the boys doing the watch party right now for me?
Hey, there you go.
And I think that's about it.
Mom and the boys. I love it. I love it. This has been the NJC AAE Rocket League Match of the Week presented by the Army National Guard. This was Peachy coming on in and giving us a minute of his time after the game. And we appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next week for some more NJC AAE action.
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time. While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Yeesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything.